into the field is the new farm implement, the Melroe Harrow drawbar, bringing to agriculture an entirely new concept in harrowing, cultivating, and weeding. The first big feature is evident when the tractor backs up. The wing sections open automatically. Now the harrow sections, with its coil spring teeth spaced to cover every inch of ground, can be unloaded from the carrier. So that they float freely, they are attached to the drawbar with adjustable chains. It takes only one man to do the job, and in a couple of minutes, after all of the sections are unloaded, the first of two cables is hooked to the tongue. The drawbar rides on rubber, so the operator swivels the wheel from trailing to operating position. On the other end of the drawbar, the second cable is attached to the tongue. The two cables hold the wing sections even. And finally, the other wheel is slipped into field position. Now the harrow is ready to go to work, to do any one of the different jobs it's designed to do. This versatile harrow combines in one unit a machine that does three jobs: harrowing or cultivating a field, preparing a good seed bed in a field, or weeding a row crop field. Now here's part of the field where the weeds have had a good start. The time to kill these weeds is when they're small, before they rob the soil of moisture. There's an obvious difference between that part of the field and this part, where the coil spring action of the Melroe teeth have uprooted the weeds and laid them on the ground where they wither and die. Moving from one field to another is a simple task because of the mobility of the Melroe unit. The cables are unhooked and fastened to the frame. Pull cables are folded over the drawbar. Then the wheels are swiveled into road position and locked securely. Next comes the loading of the harrow section. Each Melroe section is made of heavy steel and electrically welded so it will stand a maximum of wear and punishment. Each section rides securely on the drawbar frame. On this popular 35-foot drawbar, there are 7 sections. There are 5 drawbar models varying in width from 15 to 55 feet and pulling from 3 to 11 5-foot sections. The same chains that are used to attach the sections to the drawbar are now used to secure the sections to the frame. This is another important Melroe safety feature. Now when the tractor moves forward, the wing sections swing into the trailing position automatically. And so one man, with a minimum of effort and time, converts the Melroe from field to transport position and moves out onto the highway. The Melroe is safe, compact, and maneuverable. And once on the road, it takes up no more room in width than the tractor itself. It meets all legal requirements, and there's no problem crossing narrow bridges or going through gate openings. The sturdy structure of the Melroe can take a lot of punishment, no matter what the contour of the field or its condition. This field, for example, is rough. Its soil is hard and packed. The weight of the harrow and the thinness of the teeth work together to get deep penetration of the soil. The kicking action of the teeth turns the soil from underneath instead of pushing across the top, which protects valuable subsoil moisture by filling small subsoil air pockets. A new application of the Melroe harrow is in weeding and cultivating row crops, such as this field of potato plants. It aerates the soil and helps it hold moisture. It uproots and kills moisture-robbing weeds, and all of this without powdering the topsoil. And this is the way the plants look after the Melroe treatment. Now here's a field of tiny sugar beets in the rich Red River Valley of the north. In this instance, the harrow is used to thin the field. Of all the Melroe features, the real secret of the harrow's efficiency is the action of the teeth. The coil spring heat-treated teeth penetrate the ground deeper without powdering the topsoil. They clean themselves of rubbish and debris. On part of the A.E. Hanna farm near Fisher, Minnesota, this unit was used 3 times during the growing season to weed and to thin a sugar beet crop. This is the first of 3 operations. Here the unit was operated across the rows in the field so that the Melroe thinning action would result. And on the Hanna farm, an optional accessory, the hydraulically operated corn kit, was added to the unit. This corn kit, incidentally, fits all 5 of the Melroe units. 10 days after the first thinning, the Hanna beets look like this. On the second thinning operation, the corn kit was used to adjust the pressure on each section. The condition of the soil and the kind of crop determine the amount of pressure. The camera shows the difference between the worked and the unworked portions of the field. For the second time then, during the early stages of the growing season, the field of sugar beets is thinned and weeded. This mechanical thinning eliminates much of the hand thinning and reduces labor costs. Later in the summer, Hanna drags the field for the 3rd time. As before, the coil spring teeth churn and aerate the soil and uproot the weeds. Now, the field is clean. The moisture-robbing weeds effectively uprooted and killed. A large field can be quickly covered because of the sweep and the speed of the Melroe unit. Late in September, Hanna inspects the fruits of the harvest. After harvesting sugar beets such as these, Hanna had this to say about the Melroe method.
I purchased a Melroe drag this spring. This drag has covered 2,600 acres of ground. Included in that was 100 acres of sugar beets, which was dragged twice, some of 3 times. We find this drag very efficient in all kinds of work, regardless of where it is used under any condition. It does a very fine job.
Gwinner, North Dakota is the industrious small town where Melroe equipment is manufactured. Here the Melroe family, farmers themselves, develop and manufacture specialized farm equipment. This is the same factory that for years has manufactured the Melroe pickup for combines. Today, more than 15,000 of these combine attachments are in the field. The company was founded over 20 years ago by Mr. E.G. Melroe, a North Dakota farmer himself, in an effort to help other farmers get bigger yields from their crops. And so today, the Melroe windrow pickup is a familiar sight on combines wherever grain is windrowed. And the same workmanship that makes the Melroe the leading pickup is the workmanship that makes every Melroe product a leader. For in this factory, you will find an ideal combination of engineering skill and modern equipment. The finished products being loaded for shipment to faraway places indicate the changing scene in North Dakota. What was purely an agricultural area, noted for its tremendous volume purchase of farm equipment, is now shifting its economic sights to the manufacturing of farm equipment. Trucks loaded with farm equipment from the Melroe plant and others like it now carry North Dakota manufactured products all over the United States. Truck after truck is loaded during the height of the farm equipment season and sent rolling away, carrying Melroe's specialized farm equipment to farmers everywhere. There's better farming ahead for you with the Melroe Method.